Hello and happy end of June and beginning of July to you. This is going to be my second tarot video with the Herbal Tarot. And it will be for July of 2017. And it will ideally assist us in knowing a bit better what sort of happenings are going on and energies that we can expect. Now, a few things. There's a fly going around with a death wish. So if you find me distracted in the midst of the reading, it's probably because of that. Also, I just had the song on my mind. So I'm going to open with song because spirit likes song and dance. I mean, who doesn't like a celebration? Except a bit of bitch. So I'm gonna just sing them a little song because that's what they like. And also I'm trying to figure out all the things. That is better. Hold on. Let me rearrange these books while I have you hang with me. Hang with me. That's so much better. I mean, it's like incrementally better. I'm just trying to make sure nothing falls apart. Okay. Hey. So, let us open with a bit of a song while I shuffle. Let me just check if, okay. I'm going to sing as many of these lyrics as I know. And when I'm done, then I'm going to stop shuffling. But the first thing you should know is that, again, I'm going to do Koa. Koa is my own spread. It's 3 cards. The first card represents the concern. The second card represents the obstacle or the advantage. And the third card represents the advantage or the aversion. I changed it from whatever the word was before aversion to aversion because I think it's more about what we are drawn to and what we resist. So just so you know, that is what I will be doing. And now let me start this song. What a boy, where are you hiding? If you don't come right here, I'm gonna tell you upon you. There ain't no hammer that's on this mountain that'll ring like mine, Lord, that'll ring like mine. I'm gonna walk this road, boy, from here to Macon, all the way to the jail, boy. The dog just walked away. All the way to the jail. You jack of diamonds. You jack of diamonds. You done robbed my pockets of silver and gold. I totally did those lyrics wrong, but I think that is an indication that that's about all that I need to do right there. It was just a little opening. Got the dogs rolling and stuff, so let me just check on some things. I lie. They're like, finish the song. Hell. So I'm gonna do it. I said, oh, but I'm on my phone, so I can't even look the lyrics up. Okay. You jack of diamonds. You jack of diamonds. You know you a bold boy. You know you a bold. You done rob my pockets. You done rob my pockets of silver and gold, boy, of silver and gold. What a boy, where are you hiding? If you don't come right here, I'm gonna tell you upon you. There ain't no hammer that's on this mountain that rings like mine, Lord, that rings like mine. All right, let's see if the spirits are appeased, because it's about them helping me, helping us. It's not about me. And we're good to go. Okay, give me a second. Give me. C-O-A. Koa. I'm in a mood today. It's just Friday. Ocean's Day. I'm all feeling like celebratory and stuff. Okay. So, we begin with now the dog's back. It's like, oh God, she didn't finish the singing. Okay, so Koa. We start with the concern. We start with a major arcana card. Temperance, which in my Herbal Tarot deck is Echinacea. And Temperance is a major arcana card. Major arcana cards have to do with the spiritual path, the life purpose. What am I doing here? What is my life all about? What is my purpose? And for that reason, major arcana cards have both a elevated meaning because they are elevated cards, and they have a meaning assigned to the card, just like a numbered card would, as you'll see as we go forward. So we have Temperance again. Major arcana. Temperance, symbolically called for achieving strength through purity, one who is pure of heart, and protecting oneself from heated and angry situations. This is actually a really good place to start because if you are new to my videos, I do every month, starting last month. So my new tradition is to do both a write-up for the month and a video for the month. The video I do specifically with tarot, and the write-up I do with oracle cards and these floral mandala cards I got from the great Jen Erlis, who I will tag in the post so you can find her work yourself if you'd like, because it's beautiful work. And they're not particularly oracle cards. I just use them as oracle cards. But the reason I say protecting oneself from heated and angry situations is apropos for July, is because July is about to be a month of feet and ass to the fire. July is not going to be playing around. I mean, June wasn't really playing around, but it was like a give and take, and it was a little bit more confusing in terms of whether things were going well or not well. I don't know if you felt that way, but I felt that way. So July is more direct. It's going to be a hustle. This is what I wrote in my write-up. It is the month of the hustler. And so while we are grinding for our purpose, because it's a major arcana card, this is what we're doing here. We are needing to be grinding for our greater purpose. This, oh, I'll do it later, or this keeping all your dreams to yourself inside your head so no one can hold you accountable, including yourself, is kind of over. And it should be, because we, as we mature particularly, need to be more and more about what the things we feel drawn to do are. We're not children. We're not going to have parents who are coddling us and telling us, oh, you can do it later and it's okay and this and that and the other. No, I mean, maybe some of your parents are still doing that for you, and that's just a symptom of parenting in the nuclear family or whatever, because the truth of the matter is, it is time to get on your hustle. So, but the heated and angry part, my bad. Because it's such a fiery month, July, because it's going to be so active, there's going to be all this potential for heightened tension. Now, tension is like a pregnant moment, right? It is full, and it can dissipate into the air and do nothing, or it can explode, or it can flow into something else. And that is what I am particularly suggesting. I think it is important to use that fire to channel your hustle and your drive into your own work, because there's going to be plenty of opportunity for people confronting you, situations where people are calling you out of your name, not knowing your worth, disrespecting you, where you can use that moment to blow up or to create or destroy. I suggest, I mean, okay, where it's necessary to destroy, burn the house down. I mean, but in a way that is responsible. Let's not start a wildfire. Let us have a controlled fire here. This is an intentional burn down. We don't just let the arguments go wild and crazy without us being accountable and then later on being like, I don't know why I said that. That is not the business. You need to go into a conversation that you know is going to be difficult if you have that advantage, knowing what is important for you to say. There ain't no shame in taking notes before a difficult conversation, people, because that way, as the heated emotions take you away from the intention that you came in, you can look down at your list and be like, oh, I didn't even talk about points X, Y, Z. I only got to A, and now I'm arguing about this thing I don't need to be arguing about. So what I say to that is go prepared. Hustlers are prepared. A hustler is prepared because a hustler knows how to take advantage. Now, the reason that hustling has a bad reputation is because hustlers got grouped in with the cheaters and the charlatans because people were like, oh, if you can take advantage because you can take advantage of people. But all energy is along a spectrum, which is from upright in the spiritual world, from upright to shadow, from upright to the shade. So upright is when we are doing things that are for our health and for our wellness. And the shade and shadow is for when we're doing things that provoke and bring about illness and disease. Disease being dis-ease, being uneasy in your own existence, in your own skin. So the hustler has a bad reputation. But the hustler's reputation is tainted because of association, not because of what the hustler is actually capable of. Now, hustle comes from an interesting, it's mostly Germanic, Proto-Germanic, but I do believe it comes from a Proto-Indo-European word at the end of the day, which means to shake. And I think that's really interesting. Now, to shake with what? I write this, again, I put this in my Gaia Matrix Oracle reading. To shake with anticipation, to shake with opportunity, to shake with privilege, to shake with excitement, to shake with readiness, to be vibrating. Okay, so the hustler is constantly at work. The hustler is responding sensitively to everything in its environment, or it. I'm going to say it. We don't have in English this general word other than they or it. So it's just going to be, okay, fine, they, whatever. I don't need to say it. But I mean, no, let's go with it. So a hustler is going to be stimulated by everything in their environment so that the hustler knows how to best take advantage, not of the people, but of the circumstances that they're in. The hustler, when the hustler is doing upright work, is trying to take advantage of their circumstances, of their problems, of their relationships for the benefit of those involved. And of course, for the benefit of them. But an upright hustler is trying to benefit themselves so they can benefit the world. They're not trying to benefit themselves so they can be like richer or better than you. That's the motherfucking charlatan and the cheater who got grouped in with the hustler. But let's not taint the hustler's name, because the hustler has a purpose in this world. And too many of us have not been utilizing the hustler. So that's all I got to say before I even read what the card has to say, all right? Temperance, the card says, to strengthen oneself against harmful outside influences, fortification, testing oneself, strength gained from challenges. Now, the testing oneself, here's the thing. If you have a dream and you are not willing to speak that dream into the outside world, meaning if the dream is just going on in your head, and I don't mean going to sleep dream, I mean a waking dream, something that you wish to do with yourself, with your existence, with your life. So if that dream resides inside your mind, who the fuck is going to keep you and hold you accountable to that dream? Obviously, you don't even have the courage to speak it into existence. You don't even have the courage to say that you are thinking about this thing. So how is it going to get done? How is it going to get done if you don't take the risk and put it out there so that either you have to hold yourself accountable because you didn't put yourself on blast, or someone else has to hold you accountable or chooses to hold you accountable because you put yourself on blast? Now, I'm not the kind of person who shies away from high octane circumstances. I've learned no longer to seek them out or to, call them toward me. But I am great under fire. I am someone who, in the moment under pressure, is going to handle the shit as calmly as possible. Afterwards, I have my reactions and my not so great thoughts and stuff like that. But those I get to keep to myself, because in the moment, what I'm trying to walk out of with any circumstance that is high or tightened or tense is I'm trying to walk out with the most integrity possible without necessarily needing to destroy or make someone else bad. So to strengthen oneself against harmful outside influences doesn't mean to destroy them. It means to defend yourself. You can defend yourself and not murk a motherfucker. Take that note, cops. You really need that note. But also like Aikido. There's different martial arts that are specifically intended to use someone else's energy against them, not to do harm, just to protect yourself. So this is what temperance is about. Fortification. You know, we're talking about, what that motherfucker on the, is it the rook? Is it the rook on the chessboard with the castle piece? I think that's the rook. That's what we mean by fortification. And testing oneself, strength gained from challenges. So the thing is, your dream, the dream that you wish to embody in this life, may not be for you in the ways that you imagine it is for you. But it's really not possible to know that until you've put in the effort and put in the struggle and actually put yourself, exposed yourself, and made yourself vulnerable to what you want from yourself. So most people will just ignore a dream because it's easier to not fail, I guess. I guess it's easier not to fail. I mean, certainly you're going to do less if you don't fail. But not failing isn't synonymous with succeeding. You can not fail because you just don't do shit, ever. And that will be a life that when you are on your deathbed, you're going to be like, well, that was not a good use of my time. I kind of wasted my opportunities. So we don't want to waste opportunities. At the same time, temperance is about, as abundance for some of us is going to be coming because we have been putting the work in prior to when the shit is getting hot. We need to remember that just because, like, okay, so it's actually interesting. I've been watching American Gods, so this makes me think of American Gods. There's a whole episode about leprechauns and how gods are fed by our faith, our prayers, our beliefs, and how they exist because we believe that they exist and we create them into these forces of being. So old girl was like always faithful to the leprechauns. She was always like leaving them the things and talking about them and praising them and making them, you know, continuing their existence by speaking about them, by having them out in the world, by passing them on. And then things started going good for her because the leprechaun was like, oh yes, like this one is faithful. Let me put some blessings on her because she's doing her job. And then as soon as things went well for her, she stopped doing all the necessary procedures that got her to that point. So why I say that is because for some of us, the temperance card is more about as the abundance comes forward, do not drop your ritual. Do not drop your practice. Do not drop your hard work. Okay, yeah, take a minute to fully sit in and enjoy and embody your success. But it doesn't stop there. Guess when your success can come to an end? On your deathbed, okay? Guess when you can stop growing? On your deathbed. And by the way, I don't even know if that's guaranteed, but I myself, being Sanyu, haven't died. So I can't tell you whether there's work on the other side or not. I know that there's something else other than nothing, because ain't nothing in this world or in this universe. But all I'm saying is temperance. Actually, this is about balance, right? It's about effort, but it's also about not overexerting yourself, not straining yourself, not tiring yourself out, not depleting yourself, not abusing yourself. We need to really find the balance as the energies rise and tensions rise. People who are the most centered and the most balanced are going to be the best prepared people in the world. Because whether the situation goes right or left, or up or down, or whatever other oppositions that you would like to put into there, then you're prepared to go either way. A balanced person can pivot in any direction. An unbalanced person is not going to be able to move with that same agility. So that's our concern. Card number 2 is the Koa, obstacle or the opportunity. Here we have the Queen of Swords reversed. Woo. Queen of Swords reversed. She is Lady Slippers, which is a herb, a flower. Queen of Swords reverse. So Swords is a suit of air. It's a suit of intellectualizing emotions. It's the suit of our mind, our battle with ourself, who we think we are versus who we actually are versus who we're actually taken as. Although Wands deals more with how we are perceived in the world. Swords is more about how we perceive ourselves to project our image. So Swords is also Swords is probably like, in my opinion, but I guess it depends on what you're good at and what you're inclined to do. Swords, in my opinion, is the hardest suit in the deck. Because Swords is about the battle with oneself. It's about struggle and strife, but hard-earned lessons after trials and tribulations. It's also the suit of projection. It's when we have some shit that we need to take care of, but we're not addressing that thing, so we're projecting onto other people, or we're noticing the thing that we need to take care of in other people because it's existence being like, hey, 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 hey. But instead of taking that message as an opportunity for you to come correct in that way. Instead, you're like, you do this and you do that to some other person. I mean, God, this is the state of politics right now. Reversed Swords. So, Queen of Swords, reversed, says, oh, it's here. It says, cutting, unsympathetic person, one suffering from past injuries and relationships, distrustful person. This is perfect with Temperance because, one, Swords is about the battle with oneself. Now, past injuries, one suffering from past injuries and relationships, distrustful person, unsympathetic, cutting person. This is you to yourself. This is the you that doesn't let you live the dream. This is you that says, oh, you know, the first time I had tried that, it failed, so I guess I should never try things again. This is the you that says, oh, that person wasn't good for me, so all people must be terrible. Or, oh shit, I didn't do that thing well, so I must be garbage. This is the person sabotaging you. So we know that O stands for, actually it stands for obstacle and opportunity. Look, people, if we can't learn from our failures, we ain't gonna be able to do nada. Because the thing is, there are so many atrocities in this world that if humanity doesn't learn how to reconstruct and be constructive out of a horrifying situation, then we're just doomed to horrifying situations. Like if you can't learn from a Hitler, you've really fucked yourself, because where do you go from that sort of atrocity? I mean, where you can only go further on from that. And we want to really come back from that. We want to be able to use our failures and our struggles as fodder for the betterment of ourselves, for our better selves, for our higher selves, for our best purpose, and for the best in purpose and intentionality of the world. So what the obstacle and the opportunity here is, every time that you struggle, using that as a teaching point, not as an excuse to bail. You got to use yourself. You are your tool. You are your instrument. You are your opportunity and your skill set and your advantage and everything. You need to be able to utilize your existence and get the greatest advantage out of that. And typically that doesn't happen when you don't allow yourself to fail or to do shit or to try things, because you are so distrustful of who you are to yourself. Okay, so you don't trust yourself. That's fine. How do you think you're going to learn to trust yourself if you just stop making effort? I suggest what I do in my life when I don't know what I'm doing is I go to someone who I perceive does know what they're doing, or I go to someone who unequivocally does know what they're doing in a particular regard. Like if I don't know how to carve a table, I'm going to go to someone who's a carpenter. That's what I'm going to do. So if you don't know how to trust yourself, then you need to go to the person that you have in your life, whether that's a professional, familial, romantic, or, you know, whatever kind of relationship that it could be in your life. And you need to go to the person who you find seems to have the most trust in themselves, because that person is the person who can teach you how to go forward. You don't have to do it all yourself. You just have to do, no, you don't. I was going to say you have to do all the work. Yes, you have to do all the work. It's not by yourself, even though your life is based upon your effort. You need to put in all the effort. You don't have to put in all the work. So if you find that you are insecure, go to someone who seems confident. Learn from them. That doesn't mean you have to do every single thing that person does, but you will be learning along the way all the ways in which confident people have learned to be confident. That can be makeup for somebody. That can be singing for another person. That can be dressing for another person. That can be speaking for someone else. That can be the way that someone thinks to themselves in their mind. How do they formulate their everyday world that they exist within? Does that bring them confidence? You can learn all these tools from as many people as you can as possible. This is each one teach one. And from there, you can decide where you want to go yourself. How do you want to try? You could try them all on for size. Try makeup, try singing, try speaking, try thinking differently, try dancing, try movement, try anything to move yourself out of this self-fulfilling prophecy of woe is me, isn't my life terrible? I said this again in my write-up, and I just want to emphasize it because I think it's so important. There are millions of people who have been murked off this planet who would happily kill you to be here. So considering there are people who would just kill for the opportunity to be back here, to do it differently, don't be that motherfucker. Don't be the person who gets to your deathbed and was like, oh, I didn't do that well, wish I could do it again, because guess what? You ain't never gonna get it again. You might be reincarnated, you might go off into other planets or dimensions or spiritual things. I have no idea. Again, I told you I haven't died. But the point is, you ain't never going to be this you again in the circumstances in which you were you with all the people who were involved. So you need to work with this life that you have right now. That is our opportunity and our obstacle. It stops us so that we have to learn what it is in order to get around it. An obstacle is simply something to be considered, and it is an opportunity to consider something. Card number 3. Happy Friday. I'm just like in such a celebratory mood. So card number 3 is our advantage or our aversion. Now we have Queen of Pentacles. Yo, we just got first of all, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Right side up. Marshmallows, the herb. I mean, y'all, if you didn't know, and you should know, but it's women's time. Do you look at it? Temperance, Queen of Swords, boom, and Queen of Pentacles. So it's right now, it's a creative time. It is time to cultivate your creative feminine energy, the sacred feminine energy. If you're a man, you got feminine energy. I mean, you done came from a woman, so I just don't know how you couldn't. Just like every woman has male energy, and just like every androgynous or non-gender conforming person has elements of all of those sexes. It's a spectrum, okay? We all have all of the energies inside of us. So Pentacles, though, is the suit of earth. It's the suit of labor. It's the suit of foundation. It's the suit of hard work. It's the suit of finances. It's a suit of the corporal world. It's a suit of your body. It's a suit of what labor you put in and what fruits you gain from that labor. In addition, though, in an astrological sense, Pentacles is the suit of yourself, not in the mental capacity, but in the terms of your existence, your body. Your body is the first house. This is the place you wake up in every day, the place you go to sleep in every day. This is the place that you exist outside of first. Then you live in a house, in a city, in a town, in a community, in a blah, blah, blah. But first you have to have a body. You ain't got a body, you ain't got a self. So that is our first home, right? Queen of Pentacles, right side up, says, women in charge of nurturing and caring for others, a mother or a businesswoman, a woman of means and accomplishments, a wise crone, someone to turn to for advice. This is interesting because I'm getting a few things about it. For one, I'm getting, when in doubt, go to someone that you consider nurturing. This doesn't have to be a woman, like I just said. Men, there are men with very nurturing energy, and there are women with very nurturing energy, and there are non-gender conforming people or, spectrum hopping people who all have this quality. But the point here is that we need to go to someone who is going to help us foster our creativity. How do we know it's creativity? Well, there's a lot of feminine energy, and as women create life, or, co-facilitate creating life, are the chamber which life passes through from the spiritual world into the corporal world. Hold on, this thing isn't going to stop beeping if I don't, over there. And because women are the chambers of alchemy, where we can change something from a thought into an actual physical thing. Obviously, feminine energy also rules creative work. It fuels, let me clarify, it fuels the creative gestation. It is the masculine energy, it is male energy that allows us to take that work forward, actually take action. That's why the Queen of Swords is reversed, because swords is an action suit. When you're right side up, battling against your own demons, you're going to be coming forward and forward and forward. That's something that takes drive and hustle and pushing. But where you want to go, what area you're pushing in, what direction you want to go in, that's guided by the gestation quality, which is a feminine quality. So that might have been, no. And again, it says a mother or a businesswoman. I think this is actually quite significant in the line of our reading, because the thing that I am talking about when I say, what is your dream, is what do you need to be doing here? Humanity has created a number of things to occupy you during your life on Earth. You can pay your taxes, you can drive a car, you can go on vacation, you can play video games, you can do any number of things. But there is only one imperative that truly matters, because it's the imperative that was given to everybody equally. Here is your life. Live it to the best of your ability. Seek to know yourself and be that self in public, so as to encourage other people to do the same, and see what world that creates. Now, I added the last part in terms of the imperative. That's my own language. But what I mean is, you don't like taxes, owning an apartment, having a child. These are all things humans have decided are significant over time, because at different times they seemed paramount. But at the end of the day, the only imperative that the universe gives out is, this is your life. Please live it purposefully. Please live it actually. Please be inside of it. Like, be inside of your life. Be yourself. So whatever the dream is, and even if it's embarrassing, especially if it's embarrassing, please put it outside yourself. Please have somebody, yourself namely, but also your allies and other people around you, nurturers, people who are running things, people who are hustling, people who have themselves better organized. Please help them help you be held accountable. Why shouldn't you be accountable? Oh, you just want to live this boring ass 9 to 5. And if you don't find it boring, then bless up. But if you want to live this 9 to 5, work, retire, deathbed life, or do you want to do something inspiring? Do you want to do something with your existence that is completely unique, because no other person can do anything the way that you do it, exactly as you do it, when you do it, how you're doing it, as you're doing it? I mean, it's so interesting. Okay, I'll end with this. I'm from Los Angeles, like born, bred, and buttered. And I'm from the west side of Los Angeles, Santa Monica. So I have lived my life in upstate New York, and I came back. It was quite interesting, because I didn't recognize until I got back, how LA is perceived by other people. Oh my God, I just forgot why I'm even going on this tangent. How LA is perceived, born, bred, and buttered. What people think about this place. Or what was I gonna say? Oh, right. So, see, the singing helped though. You saw that happen? So what the point I'm making is that there's all these lives here that people move here to emulate or live because they find them exciting and flashy, and you want to be a celebrity or whatever. So you move here and you think it's going to happen for you. For 99% of you, it doesn't. But this is the thing that confuses me. We admire people who are unabashedly themselves because of their uniqueness, and yet we are unwilling to be that uniqueness of ourselves. People don't want to expose themselves. People don't want to be honest about their vulnerability or about their insecurities, about who they think they are and who they think they want to be and what they're capable of. People just want shit to go well for them and then be applauded for it. But the people that you admire for their uniqueness and for their ability have been working towards their individuality their entire lives. They have been working past all the naysayers and all the shit talkers and all the evidence to the contrary to arrive at that particular quality of life. And the only way for you to get there isn't to do what they did, but to figure out how to do that shit in your own existence. Doesn't mean you're going to be an actor or a singer or any of that stuff. And that shit really doesn't matter. You should just be as special, as unique, as actual, as transparent as a human being as you can be in whatever line of work you exist in. Because doing that is going to get you to the unique life that you admire. And the thing about that too is like, at the end of the day, you ain't gonna want to do the type of shit other people have had to do to get where you admire them being. All you can do is what you are actually capable of. So if you knew what Beyonce or what Freddie Mercury had to go through, like, are you gonna sign up to have the health debilitating disease of AIDS to be Freddie Mercury? Do you want that too? Because that's what that motherfucker had to do. He had to learn through that experience, come through that experience, and be himself through that experience. So why I say that is because, is grass is greener syndrome. Oh, that person's life's so great, I wish I could be them. But really though, you don't know what they've been through, and you don't know how capable you are of dealing with what they went through. But what you can know is how capable you are of dealing with what you go through, if you actually go through it. So, Pentacles, Earth, labor, foundation, the foundation of yourself, your integrity, what people know you for, what people come to recognize you for. And by the way, if people be like, you're not who I knew, and it's because you're trying to become a better version of yourself, and by better, I don't mean like more popular, more successful, but like wholer, more integral, more truthful. If there are people around you naysaying on that, they got to go. And you ain't got to do that, again, in some angry kind of way. You could just be like, bygones be bygones, assalamu alaikum, woo woo, woo woo, or, I don't know, woo-sa zen. Please have a good life, but don't have it around me if it can be helped. And that's not a bad thing. Everything has its time. Everything is impermanent. So there is nothing wrong with saying goodbye to relationships that no longer serve what we are becoming and what we need to becoming, and ultimately our purpose. Every relationship has served a purpose for the time that it is around. And after that time, after its expiration date, you got to throw it out, because stagnancy and hoarding are in the same family. It's keeping you, weighing you down. Foundation doesn't have to be heavy. Earth doesn't have to be heavy. It just needs to be grounded, right? So again, Pentacles, it's the aversion or the advantage. Woman in charge of nurturing and caring for others, a mother or a businesswoman, a woman of means and accomplishments, a wise crone, someone to turn to for advice. It's amazing too that I name that advantage or aversion, because God knows the world still resent a confident, unapologetic, like wise ass crone. Like you can't be a woman and be awesome without someone talking some terrible shit about you. I mean, you can't be GOAT. You can't be Serena Williams without someone saying, oh, but her hair looks stupid. Fuck you, man. Okay, look, if someone is being a boss at what they do, if someone is being a shining exemplary exemplary and example come from the same word, whatever, but let's double down. If someone is being the epitome of what they said they wanted, that's someone to go to and speak to. You need to humble yourself. You might be too proud. That might be somebody that you had done dirty. That might be somebody who thinks some way about you. But if you humble yourself and say, I just got to tell you, I admire your ethics. I admire your hustle, because you said you wanted to do X, Y, Q, P, and I see that you're doing it, and I don't know how to do that with myself. So I just want to know if you could give me any advice. Now, ideally, that person is not all up in their ego and also has humility and can give you advice without making you feel worse about inquiring. But, what came to me in that moment that cut me off from my thing is like, just don't be afraid of yourself. Be yourself. And if people don't want to stick around for that, let them leave and see who shows up, because there's so much more out there than you can even fathom, because if you could fathom all that was out there, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So thank you for joining me for the July 2017 reading for this month. My second tarot reading. Again, we have Temperance right side up, Major Arcana, Queens of Swords reversed, and Queen of Pentacles right side up. Temperance is our concern. Queen of Swords reversed is our obstacle and our opportunity. And Queen of Pentacles right side up is our advantage or our aversion. I hope you have a wonderful rest of June if you're not already through it. And sending all my affection and appreciation, encouraging you to be yourself. Ideally, you've seen me being my weird self in this video. And I'm very happy with this person. Like, she's weird, but like, we work. So I hope you find that same place for yourself. And in the event of this card, you want to reach out to someone? Reach out to me, y'all. I do readings. Also, I just like talk to people and stuff. I also write stuff, so don't be shy. I am very approachable, I hope. And if not, I am friendly. So holler, bread, and have a good life. Bye.